Hey guys, I'll be right back. I can't find my glasses. All right. Hey, what's going on? Hey, Sean. Hey, Dan. So, what I'm doing here is I have these four are Viper modified cars with the 3 ohm armature. They're pretty much stock, other than they have an independent front end. But I want to play around with some different tires for these cars and for my my V-spec cars. These are 100% stock V-spec, except I did put the wider max traction magnets. But I also want to play around with changing out these stock tires. The the stock tires on the V-spec, they seem to come in at like around oh dang it, I pulled that pin out too far. Just a little tip for you guys: you're gonna have to pull these pins out all the way. Just pull them out halfway so they stay in. You can still pop the axle out. This one was just really kind of short. I made it come out. I cut some of these too short when I got them. See if I can put this back in real quick so I don't lose it. I just ordered some more pins from Viper. These were the chrome ones. I got the brass ones now. I like the brass pins better. They're a little bit thicker and they don't stick to the magnets. So yeah, so this is the new HC slot tire gauge, which I really like. I know a few of us have this. It's made out of pretty heavy duty aluminum. And you can see the stock Viper rear end comes in. They say anywhere from 440 to 444. And this is even tight in 444. This is almost more like a 446. So these are good tires, and this is the medium compound. I think this is a good setup for your home plastic track, which I think is what Viper is going with their stock setup. But on my Viper routed track, I really prefer the stiffer tire, and I could definitely go lower on my Viper track. So I think I can get these cars to handle a little bit better. And I have a couple of different tires here that I was going to look at testing out on these cars. Horseshoe shaped pins, that's interesting. I'll have to check those out. So anyway, I have some purple tires here from RPM's. These are good tires. I actually have these on RPM's hubs. These are actually, I think Viper's hubs are 250. These are, I think, are actually 260. So these are a little bit wider. But these are pretty low profile. These come in at like a 430. 428, 430. So these are pretty low. This is a little too low for my Viper track. I use these out at the club when I really want to get low and handle really well. Same thing with these gray firm tires that are on my Fusion. I think these are from Quicker Engineering. But I like the Viper white tire. The only thing I don't like about the firm compound is they do chip pretty easy. Like, I don't know if you can see, It's a pretty good chip out of that tire. And even this purple tire, which I only raced once, sustained a small chip. But the yeah, these white firm tires can definitely chip, and then you're gonna have to replace them. But I settled on a size. So these are Hardin Creek's firm tire. They don't look like a firm tire because of the color, but they're actually a little bit lighter, like a dark shade of gray rather than black. And I like the HC slot firm tire because it seems to hold up pretty good. This is actually like a 436. I've determined that I like 436 and 438 for my track. This white tire is 438. So I'm going to test these out on both cars. I did order 438 in actually the medium compound, and I'm going to use those on my V-Spec cars, and I ordered 438s in the white firm compound for my Pro 10 modified cars. So those are going to be the setups I'm going to do. But I just thought I'd do some comparisons on how the stock setup on my track, I'll run some laps, compared to going a little bit lower on these cars. No, Steve, the rails on my Viper are lower than on the AFX track. I think an AFX track is like 0.14, where Vipers are closer to like 0.10, 0.10. So they definitely have lower rails, and you can get your car lower on the Viper routed track compared to the AFX rails. And that's the whole point of kind of what I've been wanting to do this for a while. I knew these cars were tuned more for a home plastic track, the way Viper sells them, with these softer medium compound tires. And you could hear the difference on my track. The firmer tires just sound better. The whole car sounds better with the little bit firmer, lower tires. Even the fronts, the stock Vipers come with like a I think it's 0.35, but I like going down to a 0.34 on the front tire. 0.34 and 0.438 seems to be a good combo for my track. Yeah, I like the super tires. I actually have the super tires on my really fast cars. These are two of my fastest cars. This is a 2-ohm custom built Viper with Neo 35. I have these on 0.275. So these are super tires on a little bit wider hub, both of these cars. And yeah, these are good tires. I like them. I gotta find out where I can get the super. I used to get super tires from, I think it was BSRT, but I don't know, they're a pain in the butt to order stuff from. Yeah, definitely by the beach. Tire size is everything. I know it, but even more so now that I've been doing competitive racing. That's why these guys show up with a gazillion different size tires, and they take the time before the race, during the practice sessions, to really test out different size tires and see what works best for them on that particular track. But for my particular home track, the 438s, I don't have a piece of Viper track, but I could try and show you just using an AFX track section. I don't know if I'll be able to get it in focus, but you can kind of see where you can clearly see daylight, a good amount of daylight underneath the stock rear tires on these V-Specs. And that's on an AFX track section. So we're not even coming close to touching the rails. So these cars are sitting pretty high up. well, I mean, you know, for a Viper, they're not high, obviously, but they can go lower. So if you look at this Viper that I have tuned for spec racing, this car had .350 fronts and the stock rear that I just showed you. This is a .340 with the 4.38. You can still see under the car, but it is, if I can get that to focus, it's just bringing the car down even a little bit more, and it's amazing the difference in the handling when you bring the car down, and you can see it on the downforce meter as well. So, and then if I go even lower with these purple, this is what I was running at the Vero. I ran this car. I mean, that starts to get really slammed down low. Now you're actually touching the rails with these purple tires, just about. These are great for the clubs, but I think they're a little too low for daily racing on my track. I prefer just a little bit high. I don't really want to be dragging the rails. Yeah, I do the marker. A lot of the guys there put a little magic marker, color your motor and traction magnets with a marker, like a silver or gold marker, and then play around with your different tire sizes. And when you see the rail just starting to make a mark in the magnet, in the markers that you put on the magnet, then you kind of know that you're starting to touch the rails. And then it's just a question of how low you really want to go. Yeah, the lane spacing on my Viper is much wider than on the AFX track. Actually, let me see here. I can give you an example. So you see the spacing. If that makes. So you can see the space here, which is I think like 1.5 inches. And then when you put two pieces of track together, you can see how wider the space is. This is about the width of the Viper spacing. It's 2 inches compared to I think like 1.5 inches for the AFX lane. So the Viper track's definitely wider lane spacing. All right, so what I thought I would do is, which car is this? This is one of the V-Spec cars with stock setup. I'm gonna take this over to the track. I'm gonna run some laps. Then I'm gonna put in the 438 Viper tire, and then the 436. I wish I had the 438 in the medium compound just to kind of compare the different compounds, but I have those coming in the mail. So I'm curious to see the difference from the medium to the stiff in the lower size diameter tire. So let me set the camera up. We'll take a walk over here by the track. See if I can get a decent view of the track for you guys. Somewhat decent view anyway. I'll try not to crash too much, but I'm gonna try and push the cars and see if see if the different tires help trying to push it. All right. Yeah, that view looks pretty good. Yeah, Viper's been out of their tech blocks. I've been trying to get some different setup blocks from Viper for forever, and they've been out of stock. So I have my email in there to notify me once they come in, but it's been a long time since they've had them in stock. Alright, so I'm going to run the completely stock V-Spec, pretty much stock out of the package, stock Viper front end, stock rear end. It does have the little bit wider max traction magnets in it. And then we'll swap out the rear end. See what it does for us. Try and do some times. 3.4 a second. Just crashed. Oh, crashed so hard that the body came off. These bodies that I picked up, these stock car bodies, I like how they look, but unfortunately they're a little bit wide, and they do come off a little easier than I would like. So these might be retired soon if I can't figure out a way to keep them on the chassis. The red one has gotten even worse. It really is kind of loose, which is too bad because I like them and they can take a beating. And I got them in the 4-lane colors, but these 917 Porsche bodies really fit the car really well. They stay on real well. They're nice and snug, but these bodies are just a little loose. I don't know if you guys have any ideas on how I can tighten those up. Enjoy your lunch, Patrick. All right. 3.2 seconds. 3.1. See, and that to me is what's so impressive about a Viper. I mean, this thing is stock out of the package, and it's doing a 3.1 second lap on a 56-foot lap length. That's pretty good. All right, let's see if the other firmer, lower profile tires help out any. With the white Viper 438 size tires. Yeah, I just like how the sound, sound of these firmer tires, it has more of a kind of a growl to it. Actually, seems like it's handling a little bit better with the softer compound tires. Well, there's a faster lap, 3.1 seconds, 3.14. 3.13, 3.11, 3.10. Yeah, the car definitely goes faster with the stiffer, firmer tires. Not sure about the handling with the Pro 4 magnets. I mean, the rule of thumb, obviously, the weaker the downforce car, the softer the compound tire you would usually use. That's why I use the firmer tires on my Pro 10 or higher magnets, but with these max traction magnets on these Pro 4s, it's still a pretty good amount of downforce, and a lot of guys like to use these stiffer light tires, but I got the 4.38s coming in the medium compound for these cars, so I'm curious to try the medium compound in a lower diameter on these stock V-spec cars. Yeah, I definitely like that size, the 4.38, over the stock size that comes in the Vipers. I'm going to run the 3-ohm modified in the stock configuration, and then we'll put the stiffer tire in that. .7 seconds, 2.6, 2.5, 2.51. All right, 2.51 seconds. Yeah, if you want to get a really, really fast car stock, these 3-ohm modified Vipers are a pretty good bang for the buck. I mean, this is a 2.5 second car on my track. You really, I mean, yeah, you can build yourself a faster car, but do you really need much faster than 2.5 seconds? Alright, I'm going to put the 4.38s in, and then I'm going to use the Hardin Creek 4.36s on this modified car. Yeah, they sound like they're hitting the wall hard, but these barriers flex, and really these cars can take a beating. those crashes don't do anything to these Lexan bodies. It sounds bad, but it sounds worse than it really is. All right, let's see what we do with these firmer tires on this car. And the 2.47, 2.45. Yeah, I like the way this car runs with these thicker tires. Definitely crank out some fast laps. It's consistently in the 2.5 second realm there. You probably lower the front end on these cars. Actually, I think I bought 4 sets of 340s. I'm going to lower the front end down a little bit as well on these cars. Imagine 4 of these buzzing around this track. 244. Yeah, that's a good setup. I like that. I like that setup. I'm going to try a little bit lower 436s from HC slot next. Although, you know, I probably should check the gears. These might not be the same exact ground gears. Yeah, they're not actually. That's probably why the white, this is the 22 tooth on the white tires. This is 23. Slightly different gearing, but let's see how the different gearing plays out with these lower tires. I have to use 23 tooth for some of the classes that I race in. They only allow 23 tooth crown gear. All right, let's see how this goes. There's the fastest lap, 2.44. Definitely handling better too. 2.41. That's a pretty good setup too. The 436s, the HC slot 436s on this 23 tooth crown gear. That runs really well. Yeah, Luke, it depends on the car and the class that you're racing. But yes, I'm right up there with the times and speeds. Well, foam tires are only allowed to be run on certain classes, so the silly sponge tires, if that's what you're talking about. I don't use any foam tires. Oh, so do you mean the silicone over sponge tires? When you say foam coated? Yeah, so that's what's on this car. This is a silicone over sponge,
but they only allow this in like super stock class with ceramic magnet. So the weaker magnets, and they allow these silly sponge tires, which gives a better traction. But this is not a super fast class. I mean, this is a 6 ohm super stock armature. It's a decent running car, but it's not as fast as the Palmer Pro 4 Palmer cars. I'll do a few laps with it if you want to see how it handles. It's very smooth, these silicone sponge tires. That too hard. Oh, that was a 2.8 second lap. Yeah, when you start getting into the 5.8 ohm balanced armature class, you can get the cars down into the 2-second range on my track, like 2.7, 2.8 second range. Whereas my stock Vipers with the standard 6 ohm armature, they're more in like the below 3-second range. Curious to see how the stock V-spec runs with this 436 Hardin Creek tires. And again, this is all, tire sizes and how the car handles is all a preference. I mean, you may not want the car to be too low. You might want to have to drive it more and have it be more of a challenge. So it's really how you like to race. And, when I race competitively at the track, I got to get as low as I can and be glued to the rails, or I won't really be competitive. Do I like to race that way at home? No, not really. I don't want my cars to be glued to the track and be much, much harder to come off. So that's why I'm trying to set these house cars up where they're low, but not super low, where, you still have to drive them. Yeah, this is too low. I don't like how this car sounds. That's interesting. I don't like the V-spec with the HC 436s. The cars doesn't sound good. Yeah, too low. Wow, what a difference. So these 438s, the car ran pretty darn good. I think 438s in the medium compound is going to be good for these V-specs. Yeah. Wow, that's a big difference. Probably couldn't hear it, but man. Going down from 438 to 436 did not go well on this V-spec. It's too low. It sounded like it was dragging along the track. And that's the whole point of this, is to see how low you can go before it gets too low. Yeah, I wish they would do that, Sean, as far as sticking with a specific size tire, but all the places I race and the classes I race, they pretty much let you pick whatever readily available tire is out there, and you can use whatever size you want, pretty much. But I think it would be cool to race everybody with the same size tire as well, or at least have a class where that's what they do. I'll do a few laps with my 2 ohm. This has the stiff super tires. These are this is a 2 ohm NSX armature, Wizard independent front end, .340 fronts. I forget what size rear tires I have on here on these bigger hubs, but this is not super low because these magnets are really strong. So I kind of have a pretty good balance where it's not tearing up my rails, but still a very strong downforce. This is my fastest car. I'm almost under 2 seconds. I've done a 2.07 with this car. There, that was a 2.05. That was actually my fastest lap. You guys just witnessed. That car will do a 2.1 second every lap. Incredibly fast. All right, Dan, see you. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Yeah, I'm going to break soon, too. It's almost 12:30 here, and I'm getting ready for lunch. But I got to put all these cars back together and put everything back. And once I get all those tires I ordered, maybe I'll do a follow-up video on testing the actual tires I get from Viper. I ordered some even lower white tires from Viper that I'm going to use for when I'm club racing. So. Yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions on anything. And again, this was just something I wanted to do for a while, playing around with these house cars that I use. I'll do a few laps with my. This is my Fusion Spec Racer. I'll do a few laps with this car. This car runs really good too. I was very competitive with that car. Yeah, this thing is hugging the rails. It's so low. It handles so well. It was doing 2.5 second laps with ease. This car. This car was built for me by Steven Crossland from Rooster Racing. If you guys ever want a really, really well built, high performance Fusion car, check out Steven at Rooster Racing. He builds a really, really good car. He builds custom Vipers as well. So. Hey, big gun. It's actually a NSX, as in X-ray, I believe. I got it from hcslots.com from Hardin Creek. He has a whole line of the NSX arms. They're pretty pricey. I think just that armature alone was like 35 bucks, and he has them all the way down to like 1 ohm. But yeah, that's a kick-ass armature for sure. Thanks, Shen, for stopping by. All right, guys, I think I'm going to pack it in for now. I appreciate everybody stopping by. I don't know, you guys like this kind of content when I just kind of spur of the moment do some stuff like this? Maybe I'll do it a little more often. All right, cool. All right, thanks, guys. I'm going to clean up here and put some of these cars back together and have some lunch. All right, guys. We'll talk with you later. I'll be looking at Scott's show tonight, so maybe some of you guys are on for his auction show. We'll chat when we're on Scott's show tonight. Oh, actually, I'm going to race tomorrow. I'm going to have some guys out tomorrow, so I'm probably going to go live tomorrow and just film a little bit of us racing. We're going to try and actually run some races tomorrow. I think I have right now at least 4 guys coming out, maybe 5. So, well, 4 including me, so 3 guys plus me. I'm hoping one other guy shows up. I'd love to get 6 of us so we could have some lane marshaling, but it's been a little tough to get 6 guys, but even with the 4 of us, we still have fun. So keep on the lookout for that. It'll probably be before lunchtime. They usually show up around 10 o'clock Eastern, and we race usually from 10 till noon, and then we break for lunch. So be on the lookout around 10:30. Maybe I'll start up the live stream 10:30 Eastern tomorrow if you guys want to watch a little bit of racing action. And hopefully my buddies show up tomorrow to race, because they haven't really been much competition. But in all fairness, they're not really racers. They like to just kind of run the cars. Some of them like the older T-Jets, so it's not their thing, the super fast cars. But I'm forcing them along. I'm getting them to do more and more racing. All right, guys, gonna sign off for now. Talk with you guys later. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it.